Hello and welcome to the UkeStuff channel. Today we're going to look at the chords and some strumming slash picking ideas that you can use with the performance of Yesterday by Billie Eilish, which occurred at the 2020 Academy Awards. So this tutorial will go over first the chords that you need for GCEA, soprano concert or tenor ukulele, then the chords you need for baritone DGBE ukulele, and then I'll talk strumming patterns slash picking a little bit. I also want to remind you that the chords to this song in a chord chart can be found at ukestuff.info. So let's take a look at the chords you need for GCEA, concert, soprano, or tenor ukulele. I'll be playing my Flight Spirit concert ukulele. Solid acacia, wonderful little instrument. First you have the D minor chord, then the G7 chord, then the B flat chord. So if you take your first finger and pull it against the neck of the ukulele, the fretboard basically, and you're holding your ukulele correctly, then your thumb doesn't have to pinch so hard to close off those strings, and then you can add the other two pretty easily as long as you're letting gravity do its work for the B flat chord. Then you have the F chord, then the E minor 7. Not hard, just not called for very often in a lot of music. Then the A7 chord, the C chord, the C7 chord, the A minor chord, the G minor chord, and then the F7 chord, the F7. So you play your F chord and then you add two fingers on top of it. And I'll be honest with you, it's kind of a surprising chord in the song. They shift from an F to an F7 before going to an E minor 7, which is really rather shocking in the harmony of the song, but it's also beautiful when you get there. So those are the chords you need on GCEA, soprano, concert, or tenor ukulele. Now let's take a look at the chords that you need for DGBE baritone ukulele. I'll be using my mainland baritone, which has a cedar top and rosewood back and sides. The first chord you'll need is the D minor chord, then the G7 chord, then the B flat chord, then the F chord. Now, a lot of people at the beginning struggle with the F chord. If you're holding your ukulele correctly and it's kind of wedged in against you, the first finger covers strings 1 and 2 and you pull against the fretboard, pull against the neck in this sort of like you're going to release it to fly away. But that gives you extra pressure to help hold those strings so that your thumb doesn't have to work so hard and cramp up. In fact, you almost don't need your thumb at all to play. So you get those two settled down, and then you can add the other fingers, and that F chord will work for you. Then the hardest chord on baritone, E minor 7. The A7, you're going to bar across all 4 strings. Same principle as the F chord. If you, again, get that finger across all 4 strings, make sure that the strings aren't sticking up in one of the cracks of your fingers. You'll have to see where that works for you. Then if you're letting gravity do the work, most of that will be done by gravity. Your thumb just helps you a little bit. And then you add the second finger on the first string, 3rd fret. Then the C chord. Then the C7, you just add 2 fingers to strings 3 and 1 at the 3rd fret. Then the A minor chord. Then the G minor chord, and then the F7 chord. This is actually a bar chord too. You bar across strings 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you add the second finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and that's the F7 chord. And those are all the chords you need to play this song on baritone DGBE ukulele. Now, as for strumming on this song, really there are 2 different things that are happening. The accompaniment is piano and later an orchestra joins. But at the beginning of the song and towards the end of the song, They're just single strums, and because they're just single piano rolled chords on the piano as Billie's singing. But when we get to the verse about suddenly, that's where the piano kind of does this chord, sort of thing. And I don't think that you want to be trying to strum all that, like. I don't think you want to try to figure all that out. I think that becomes pretty messy, and you start losing something there because the ukulele is not a piano. So let's let the ukulele kind of do something else. Now, if you want to play with chords in there, go ahead. The meter kind of changes the way that they've got the stresses and everything. What I'm going to show you is definitely going to work no matter what's going on. And here's the secret. And again, I stole this from Mike Lynch. He passed away a couple of years ago, but he left us a huge legacy on YouTube of teaching. And one of the things that he talked about was picking strings and a pattern where you always pick the fourth string, second string, and first string. And then you can pluck whatever else you want to pluck. And in this case, with every chord change, if you pluck 1, 2, and 4, again, it's the thumb goes up and the other two come back at you. And it's this pincher motion, sort of like one of those things that you're getting from you go to the department store or the kids like pizza place where there's that claw, the ones from Toy Story with the aliens. That's kind of what you're doing, is you're plucking those strings like that. So if you do that every time that you have a chord change and then just pick other strings, I think it's going to sound pretty good. Now, I'm not going to sing the words because if I sing the words, this song or this particular video is going to get copyright infringement issues. So I don't want to sing, but I will just play the chords that go with it. So check this out. And I'm starting with a verse in my brain that goes suddenly, but here's how that kind of goes. So you see what's happening there? So every time I play a chord, I pluck the 1, 2, 4, and then I just pluck other strings. Which one? It really doesn't make much difference. Generally, because I've just plucked 4, it's going to be generally 3 is going to be the next one leading off. And it might be different every time that I do it. But if you play it that way and sing along with it, it is just going to be gorgeous, and everybody around you is going to just stop and listen to you. What a gorgeous song. And by the way, if you've wondered why more of the Beatles tunes don't show up on, for example, my channel or the channels by like Rachel Webley, Andy Ramos, Jill Reese, it's because Apple Music, which is not Apple that we know in the United States, but Apple Music that has been the record label of the Beatles for years, really protects the copyrights of the Beatles songs very strongly. So I think I have one Beatles song that's kind of snuck through because I changed the pitch or something. I wasn't trying to do anything at the time. It was very early as I was making videos. I've tried to make Yellow Submarine, which I've actually created but cannot share on YouTube because it's blocked. And this song, Yesterday, the original by the Beatles, can't be used. However, because Billie Eilish did it, and this is Billie Eilish's performance, it should get through. So that's why we can use Yesterday here in this particular video. So hopefully you now know the chords you need to know. You have some ideas about strumming patterns and really picking to make that sound really great. And you can get working on this song, which is just a great song, one of the all-time great songs. And just a really nice cover done by Billie Eilish, which of course will almost prepare you if you want to do it just like the Beatles did it too. So thanks for watching, and we'll have more content for you soon.